Thank you. Foremost, I'd like to thank the organizers po for being here. No? Hindi naman po ako cancer patient din, ha? Pero wala naman sanang intent, pero hopefully I can help out, eliminate cervical cancer. No? So next slide. So my topic will be on sustainable strategies to eliminate cervical cancer and the use of a survey AI to help, approach to cervical cancer screening. So next slide. Of course, we all know yesterday, cervical cancer ranks the second most frequent cancer among women. And then, narinig natin, yesterday din, it is highly preventable, no? Narinig din po natin this morning, sinasabi na there are cancers that cannot be prevented. Ito can be preventable, yet 12 po ang namamatay na kababaihan araw-araw. No? So next slide. Well, according to the WHO, pwede naman po natin i-eliminate ito, no? Narinig din po natin yan kaghapon, no? Using the 90-70-90. 90% daw po ng ating mga anak, 15 years old pababa, should be vaccinated by a vaccine, HPV vaccine, no? 70% po ng kababaihan should be screened, and 90% po nang makita doon sa 70% na in-screen na may problema, dapat daw po ay magamot, no? However, next slide, ang ating Philippine coverage in general is very low. HPV vaccine, as according to this slide by the WHO, first dose is only reported at 23%, while second dose is already only reported at 5%. Next slide. When we go to cervical cancer screening, 1% lang po sa buong Pilipinas, apparently coming from this slide na WHO. So, medyo gising-gising Pilipinas. No? Next slide. So, that's 1%. As far as treatment is concerned, 50 to 60%. So, ano ba yung mga strategies na pwede ba natin i-implement? Okay, next slide. So, first, dapat, ang tanong is, kung susundin ba natin ang WHO, ang question ko sa inyo, kaya ba talaga natin na solusyonan yung pag-eliminate ng cervical cancer ayon dun sa sinasabi niya? Well, in fact, if you go to Australia, it's the first country aimed to eliminate cervical cancer targeted by 2028 to 2035. If they can do it, I think we can. The question is, when? When can we do it? No. Next slide. So, let's break down our problem issue. Let's talk about vaccine muna. What are the problems of the vaccine? Nabanggit din yan kahapon, the lack of awareness. Hindi alam ng mga lack of awareness kaya hindi nagpapabakuna. Of course, vaccine hesitancy. Ako personally, I've gone through the Calabarzon area because I was one of the speakers sa NICCA, and nakikita ako from the MHO, sinasabi nila sa akin, Doc, yung mga pinagbibigyan naming bakuna, these are off-label. Off-label meaning to say, 46 years old na, pinagbibigyan nila. Bakit? Kasi kaysa ma-expire. Ang tanong, what are the strategies that we can do to basically tap those untapped market? So, I'd like to share some of the strategies, and hopefully, these strategies ay ginagawa na namin. Or gagawin na namin, sorry. Of course, one possible, but before that, of course, let's also, another issue is the cost of vaccine, HPV, no? Yan. Now, next slide. How can we do this? One is to tap Rotary. No? Hindi ko pinopromote po ang Rotary dahil Rotarian ako, but I have to say something. No? Why? Next slide. Ang Rotary po, meron po siyang programs of scale. Bago lang po ito. No? It started in 2021. It's giving a grant to worth $2 million. No? It has given a grant in malaria for Zambia, Nigeria for Nigeria in 2022, reproductive maternal health. Sa Egypt, kamakailan, this was last year, no? Nagbigay po siya ng HPV screening and cervical cancer that's about $2 million. But syempre, mahirap i-apply yan. However, next slide. Sa distrito po namin, Rotary Club of Manila South, a Rotary Club in South San Francisco, California, and the Rotary Club of Manila, we're trying to apply it, pero mahirap. Next slide. Bakit mahirap? Meron pong tatlong guidelines. One is, dapat yung proyekto dapat na ilalantad nyo sa Rotary should be backed by evidence. It should be measurable, and it should be a sustainable solution. Number two, it has to have a partner outside of Rotary. Kunwari, makipag-partner kami sa LGU, and ang LGU is willing to pledge $500,000 US dollars, then pwede kaming mag-apply. No? Together, maaring makuha natin, no, yung 2 million US for that kind of project. And then lastly, dapat ginagawa mo na. Dapat meron ka ng successful implementation na ginawa. It's like to scale up. Yesterday, we heard about the success program. Ito rin, it has to have a initial success na i-scale up mo to other regions. Like for example, kunwari dito sa Balanga, we have this one project na kailangan natin gawin, no? And then you want to scale it up doon sa iba-ibang distrito ng buong Bataan. That's the kind of project that we can help out to institute. So next slide. So, ano po ba yung mga strategies na ipinapangako na ginagawa namin, and then gusto lang na po namin ibahagi po sa inyo. One is to, like I said, the problem kanina is educational awareness. Meron kaming tinap ngayon, frontline productions. They're actually playing. They're actually conducting theatrical play. Ibig sabihin, they go to school to school, they go to LGU to LGU, they tap the market, they look into the children, nag-play sila. Who have seen Philadelphia? I'm sure konti lang kasi mukhang bata lahat dito eh. Philadelphia is a movie, no, that talk about HIV. That's the same idea that we wanted to actually render doon sa mga LGU or elementary school or schools, no? To practically invite the parents, invite the students to watch the play, and then there's the awareness. After that awareness, we're going to tap the Philippine Pediatric Society. Nakausap na po namin ito na si Dr. Tini Jimenez, no? Ang sabi niya is, after the play, merong doktor, no? Kasi malaki ang PPS eh. Malaki ang Pedia Society, no? So, bawat localization merong Pedia. So, pupunta doon yung Pedia to answer, no, the questions of parents, no? Para mawala yung vaccine hesitancy, no? So, that's it. We've already invested several thousands of pesos already to frontline productions. So hopefully by May, we can start a campaign. Kung gusto niyo silang invite, we'll try to coordinate po. Next slide. Another po is ito pong aming cervical cancer screening. No? It's another way of doing cervical cancer. We'd like to show you that mamaya. Ang title, ang pangalan po namin, ang theme namin is basically Silip Cervix, Sagip Buhay. Examining the cervix saves lives. No? How do you do it? Every time na mag-i-screening kami, ang screening po namin hindi po tuwing Mayo lamang, araw-araw po namin gagawin. I will show you mamaya po. So we're going to talk. Initially, it's going to be an awareness, awareness like this, and then while the screening is ongoing, we conduct awareness, and then after which, during the counseling, ini-imply namin yung importance ng mga bakuna. Like for example, kung meron pasyente sa harapan ko, I will ask the mother, Nanay, meron po ba kayong anak na between 9 to 15? No? If so, I will get already the consent, Nay, pirmahan mo na to. No? Bago po ilabas yung kanyang resulta. Kasi yung resulta namin, immediate po. No? Muna-explain ko po sa inyo yun later on. Number 3, lastly, next slide. We are tapping the private sectors, the rotaractors, no? Yung nasa eskwelahan na privado, no? Because they are not covered with bakuna. No? We're trying to get, yung mga magagaling nila, we're trying to educate them to become speaker. I'm sure kung yung mga anak ninyo, makita nyo sa isang ganitong occasion, no? Maging speaker on HPV. We call them HAY ambassadors. Bakit HAY? HAY, H is HPV, E, educated, Y, youth. No? So these are HAY ambassadors. We are also trying to give them stipends. Kung represent sila, Rotaries will try to give them stipends. Maliit lang naman, hindi naman, na pang Jollibee lang or whatsoever. No? Of course, sometimes we can probably pair them with the Philippine Pediatric Society, perhaps. No, I mean we've never gone into that. Next slide. Now, let's go now to cervical cancer screening. No? Ano po ba ang mga dahilan bakit ba 1% lang? No? Ayon doon sa nakita ko kanina. The first two is kulang sa awareness. No? Hindi naman tayo pwede pumunta sa barangay and then we just talk and then tapos wala na. No, we have to do immediately screening kung maaari. No? Number 3, ang problema kasi minsan is walang treatment or walang screening facility. No? Yan, number 3, unavailable of screening and treatment facilities and expertise. Alam naman po natin, kulang na ang ating doktor sa Pilipinas. Kulang na po ang mga nurses. Pakulang na rin po ang mga midwife probably. No? Aasa na lang, ang nandun na lang available are the BHW. No? What can we do with them to empower them to be actually partake in this kind of screening activities? Mamaya, dito sabihin ko ako sa inyo. Number 4, of course, yung inconsistent follow-up. I'm sure, sa inyo, meron kayong mga pap smear dyan na resulta na isang taon na hindi pa binabalikan. No? Of course, baka hindi naman sa inyo kasi nga pala, electronic na kayo. I'm sorry. Apologies po. Sa iba po, no? Sa ibang LGU, no? I'm talking about ibang LGU. Baka naman ganun, no? Of course, there are other misconceptions on cervical screening. Yung mga nagmamarites, baka naman pwede natin i-conference. Marites conference, no? To re-educate them kung ano yung dapat nilang i-marites on cervical cancer. Diba? Hindi yung mali. No? We have to re-educate them. Lastly, high out-of-pocket cost ng screen. Alam naman natin, the best is HPV-DNA. Nabanggit na rin yung kahapon. It's expensive. So what? Between the expensive at saka yung between wala tayong gagawin, what can we do? Diba? Yun. So this is a possible solution na naman po, which I'd like to share. Number 1. Okay, next slide. So, in the approach to cervical cancer screening, tatlo po yan. HPV-DNA is the best. No doubt about it. It's highly specific, it's highly sensitive. Problema lang dyan, cost. No? Parang sinishare ni Dr. Laksamana sa akin kanina, si Taylor Swift, hanggang pa na lang daw, hanggang Singapore, hindi na nagpunta rito sa Pilipinas because binayaran na daw doon. So parang ganito rin, no? This is specifically for the rich few. No? Kung wala kang pera, you cannot afford HPV-DNA. Because if you go to high precision, that's about 5,800 pesos. Test only, wala pa yung doktor. No? Second, pap smear, you have that. I won't talk about it. Lastly is visual inspection. Kami, nakatukon kami sa visual inspection. Ang problem, I'm not saying ang problem. Ang sabihin ko, ang visual inspection na ginagawa natin ngayon is mata lang. And who are doing the visual inspection? Siyempre, konti ang doktor. Minsan, bumabag, ang operator are either nurses or are either midwives, di ba? So, kami, we want to take advantage of a new process. What's the new process? Instead na mata, isipin lang natin to, instead na mata, picturean natin using a medically grade camera or a colposcope. Ipadala natin sa doktor. Huwag muna natin pag-usapan yung AI kasi maraming natatakot sa AI. What is AI? No? Hindi po yan. It only assists doctors. No? Mamaya natin pag-usapan yan. Now, yung doktor, let's take for example, isang barangay, nag-screen doon ang midwife, pinadala sa MHO, binasa ng MHO through internet, no? Hindi niya alam. Hindi siya sigurado. She wants to refer to the hospital. Click niya lang, pupunta na sa hospital, yung mga OB section doon. Pwede po yun using this kind of technology. It's now available, no? Another thing is automated visual examination, yung nasa baba. Binanggit po yan ni Dr. Ngelangel yesterday. That is, in simple terms, artificial intelligence. Mamaya, pag ipapaliwanag natin yan. And lastly, I'd like to point out, ang primary screening method ng Pilipinas is BIA sa May. Next slide. So this is what we do. No? So we have that machine. It's a colposcope. Ang mga colposcope po dati are big. You cannot even move them. It costs millions of pesos. No? And it's only done kapag positive ka ng HPV, positive ka ng pap smear, positive ka ng VIA. That's the only time that you use colposcope. But, teka, erase natin. Bago na ang technology ngayon eh. Dati-dati, kasi may edad na rin ako, ang cellphone gaganyan kalaki. Ang baterya nasa likod. Ang pangalan ng baterya, Motolite. Okay, so what I'm saying is that technology is happening now. Gusto niyong kumain? Open the cellphone, click lang kayo. Grab. I don't know if there's Grab here, no? But I'm just saying, sa Manila, that's how they do it. It's convenience. No, parang ganun. So, this one is, babarilin ng midwife, DHW, train. I'm talking about train. Bakit? Nagpapa-x-ray ka ba? Doktor ko ba ang nagpapa-x-ray sa'yo? Di ba? These are, again, trained radiation technologists. Di ba? So, take a photo of the cervix, ipapadala, may AI, at saka yung picture pupunta sa doktor. Everything is secure, password protected, no? Babasahin, si doktor walang pangalan, para hindi makikita kung anong pangalan. Hindi nakalagay doon Taylor Swift, wala siya makikita. It's only a picture. We can even incorporate this into your electronic record hospital sa MH, sa rural health unit. That's the kind of technology we can help you out with. No? So next slide. Ano bang advantages nito? Yan. VIA is nasa kaliwa. Look at it. Klaro ba? Okay. Kung colposcope ang gagamitin mo, ito. Sana mas maganda. Huwag yun yung sabihin sa akin. Kung hindi pa rin kayo nagagandahan, baba ho kayo ng first floor. Check niyo mo yung mata niyo. Parang opta yata, no? Sa first floor. Sorry, no? Joke lang po. Okay. So, magnification is important. No? More magnification, more accurate, mas clear yung picture, mas clear yung accuracy ninyo. Okay. Next slide. Ito po ang VIA, no? Drawing po. Papel po yan na manggagaling sa barangay hall, darating sa MHO, lilipat sa ospital. Drawing po yan. Sabihin ng doktor ng OB dito sa ospital. Ano to? Mickey Mouse? Or Daffy Duck? Sa amin po, using this kind of technology, it's the actual photo. Depende sa inyo. Gusto niyo yung print? Ito makikita nyo. Gusto niyo ng print na digital? Ito makikita nyo. Pero, kung gusto mo gusto ko i-refer kay Dr. Laksamana, mismo digital format ang makikita niya. The way the first MHO saw the idea. Next slide. I'd like to show you yung process. Meron bang karagdagan na proseso ang ginagawa namin dito sa ginagawa na simpleng VIA? Wala po. Gagawin po ng doktor, gagawin po ng nurse, gagawin po ng midwife yung VIA, idadagdag lang po yung camera. Kukunin lang po, babarilin. Of course, there's art techniques kung paano barilin. May oras yun paano babarilin. Okay? And then, syempre, dapat yung kamay. Hindi po namin pinapasok yung bakal doon sa loob. Nasa labas lang po yun para at least hindi gagalaw masyado yung kamay. No? Number 3, alam niyo po ba ito, autofocus na. No? Pag ginanong pa lang, autofocus na. Alam niyo po, pag pinicture po ng VHW yan, at hindi cervix yan, sasabihin ng AI, this is not the cervix. True. Yeah. Pagka medyo maliit yung cervix, sasabihin niya, the cervix is small. Anong ibig sabihin? I-zoom mo, Day. Day, ate, i-zoom mo, ibig sabihin nun. Ganun po yan. Oo. No? So, i-upload mo, yun lang. Pakiusap ko, kailangan internet. Oo. Kung gusto niyo si Elon Musk, kamag-anak daw po ni Dr. Laksamana yung... no, joke lang po. So, and then, pag kinlik mo, no, mag-upload yan, bumababa pa lang po yung babae sa state house. Nagpapanti pa lang po, may resulta na. But, again, I'm not saying that's the result na gagamitin natin. It's just a result doon sa operator. No? The final result will always be at the doctor level. Now, next slide. Si doctor ngayon, bubukas ng laptop. Password, lalagay niya. On this slide, upper right corner, left corner, nandyan lahat yung mga listahan ng mga babasahin niya. Okay? Pag click niya lalabas, dito sa upper left corner, Ito, mapapansin mo yung sa taas, upper left corner, negative. Tama kung nakikita ninyo. Negative 78.34%. AI na po yan. Minsan, pag positive yan, tinuturo niya kung saan yung sinasabi niyang suspicious na positive. Pag kinlik mo yan, lalaki po yan. No? Yan, from that image, pwede na kayo mag-annotate. Ano to? Os ito, polyp ito, or whatsoever. Acetoide ito, or whatever. You can already draw on those images. Next slide. Malabo mata nyo. I-zoom mo pa para makita mo. Up to 8 times yung optical zoom niyan, no? Gusto mo green screen? Green filter pala? Meron, no? And then, lastly, ito yung sa left, right, lower, no? Magbibigay ka ang doktor ng diagnosis. Ang diagnosis niya, either of the three, pipili lang, i-click. Ito maganda. Pag kinlik ni doktor, automatically nagsesend na yan sa sa RHU. No? Wala na yung mga file ninyo. Wala na yung ganun, ma'am. Because ngayon, enter mo lang, lahat ng ginawa mo, nandun na lahat. Yung ginawa mo, makikita ni anybody who has access. So, hindi ka pwedeng magtago. No? Hindi ka pwedeng magtago na ang ginawa mo, sir, nag-screening po kami, 50 po, pero in reality, 20 lang. Kasi meron silang makikita sa ating na dashboard. And printing is very easy. All you have to do is to either choose, simplify this 1 page, detail this 7 pages. Next slide. Now, what are these benefits? Ito, initial lang to. Benefits, doon sa problema ng cervical cancer, kanina, no, sinasabi natin. Lack of awareness, ang sagot namin, no? Hey Ambassador, at saka yung theatrical play. That's one. Lack of screening facilities, hindi nyo na po kailangan magpagawa ng screening facilities or hindi nyo na po kailangan pang i-develop yung screening sa bawat barangay nyo. Ang suggestion ko lang naman po is, dahil ang screening ay every 3 years or every 5 years, no? Depende sa guidelines ninyo. Hindi naman every year di ba? Ang guidelines ng Department of Health is every 5 to 7 years. Sa Amerika, every 3 years, no? Sa inyo, of course, we will adapt kung ano yung gusto ninyo, no? So you don't need to buy 1 colposcope per barangay. All you need to do is to buy colposcope and iikot ninyo araw-araw. What is the idea? The idea is creating a hype. What is hype? Nagsimula ka, Monday, okay? Araw-araw meron kang balita, news. Diba? You're creating now a series you're trying to create a series of hype. Yung series of hype na yun, later on in social media, in radio station, it will increase the hype ng buong kapuluan ng Balanga, maintindihan na ng mga tao kung ano ang cervical cancer. Because, may nagkakwento na, patient testimonial. The next day, merong ganito karami. Hindi ba naalala nyo nung COVID time, every 4 o'clock or 5 o'clock, we hear Dr. Vergere on the news, di ba? That's the kind of cervical cancer screening or implementation I would want sana to bring down to the community. Of course, lack of doctors, my gosh, hindi na po sila pupunta. They're already there. Alam ko, doctors are already maximized. Lalo na yung mga, I'm talking about the rural health, the MHOs dito, RHU, no? They're already maximized. So, ito, kaakibat nila, kahit kumakain sila ng lunch, okay lang. Kahit kanina nagpipinta daw kumakain, ito pwede naman eh. Habang kumakain, nagda-diagnose na. No? Lastly, nabanggit din kahapon, no, yung screen and treat, ginagawa ni Dr. Anyape, no? Which is, kung comfortable ka, merong acetoide na medyo makapal-kapal na, pero kang thermal ablation, pwede mo nang i-treat. No? So, you can already use this at the same time, para hindi mo na ipa-upgrade, no? Pwede namin gawin yung treatment right down from the barangay. We can help you with that. Next slide. Now, a lot of things na sasabihin ko are just stories, are just testimonial to most of you. Ngayon, ang challenge ko is, I have the device, I have the AI, kailan ko nyo gustong makita, kailan nyo gustong gamitin. That's the challenge. No? So, we have this project na tatakbo ng 1 taon. No? Hopefully, we started out at March 2 down to next year, March 1. No? it's going to be 10,000 women kasi with one device, we plan to screen 10,000 women. Again, ito yung title namin, Silip Cervix Sagip Buhay. No? So, free cervical cancer awareness and screening. Next slide. So, ang plano namin is to bring it down to barangay. Kung hindi man, huwag mo nang ganun kaliit. Siguro, bayan to bayan or municipalidad to municipalidad. It's up to you. Ang amin lang, tawagin nyo kami. No? Ganun. So, anong gagawin namin? Number 2, educate, screen, and remote reading. We go to the community. I can talk for cervical cancer. No? Kung gusto niyo. Screen, tuturuan namin po, ikakapacitate namin yung mga RHU ninyo how to do the screening. Of course, pwede naman from top to bottom, we can do that. No? And then, remote reading, we will try to talk to your doctors how to do remote reading. We will put the software doon sa kanilang laptop so that they can do the remote reading. Sometimes, you have to feel it bago mo maintindihan yung buong konsepto, kung maganda ba ito talaga o hindi. No? And then, yung nga sinabi ko nga 1 year, ang hinihingi lang po namin, I wanted to be objective kasi hindi din naman ako mayaman. No? Sinasabi namin, we need your support, your organization nyo. We need your patience. No? Kung hihingi man kami, hingi kami transportation. Di ba? Siguro, taga Manila kami, siguro malayo din ang Balanga. Of course, hingi lang kami ng konting ganun. Hingi kami ng materials na gagamitin sa pasyente. No? That's care of na po dun sa host. No? Hingi kami ng mga stipend dun sa mga tutulong sa inyo na gagawa na product specialist namin. No? And others. So next slide. Now, sabi ko nga, we plan to start March 1 down to February. Ito na yung schedule po namin, no? Nilunsad lang po namin yan parang 2-3 weeks ago. No? So, we started this out about 3 weeks ago. We started getting LGU because the first time I started talking was in Calabarzon area, no? With the first NICCA. So, most makikita mo yung mga sponsors dyan are mostly Calabarzon. Los Baños, Noveleta, Kawit, Rosario, Santo Tomas, Batangas, no? Yung iba mga karotarian ko, no? So, scrap na natin yung DZRH kasi they got me speaker sa basta we speaking English man. So, we moved to March 2 na, no? So, yan. So, may mga blank spaces pa. Kung if you want us, you can get it immediately. We can go to you, walang problema. Next slide. Now, kami, we plan to do at least 10,000 sana. So we can accomplish that by, kung magkatrabaho kami ng Monday to Friday for 260 days, and we can finish 40 patients lang po in a day. Actually, we can finish 50, pero yung targets namin, sa sarili namin, 40 lang. We can finish around 10,400 patients in a year. Now, next slide. Okay. So, yun. Ang cost ng machine is yun ang cost. Sinasabi ko lang to kasi humihingi din kami ng donation kung may kakilala kayo na medyo philanthropist. Of course, we need to survive to become sustainable for the next years. To do whatever we started. So, next slide. Now, how do you implement this sa LGU? Sa LGU or sa RHU? Number 1, ang pakikusap ko is to create a task force. Hindi yung katulad sa Pampanga, I talked to Governor Delta, sabi niya, magmatagal pang kumuha ng empleyado. Sabi ko, kailangan kasi, you have tatlong tao talaga. Isang midwife, isang nurse, at saka isang driver. Iikot-ikot sila sa barangay, sa buong bayan ng Pampanga. No? And then they're going to do this every day. Next slide. Depende sa inyo. Gusto nyo ilagay sa mobile yung gagawin, pero medyo mahal kasi matigas binabayaran nyo. Ako suggestion ko, ilagay sa barangay. Doon sa barangay, gagawin yung procedure. Next slide. Gaya ninyo, ang gusto namin, digital na ang registration. No? Para kami, ang reason namin doon is para makuha po na namin yung data, mailagay na namin sa server, para the next day na magpapascreening kayo, yung pangalan at saka yung picture ng cervix, idinidikit lang namin at ipapadala namin para mas mabilis ang proseso. Next slide. Siyempre, kailangan ng bigyan ng importansya kung ano yung ginagawa. So you need to implement HPV awareness bago ka mag-screening. Or, habang nag-i-screening, nag-HPV awareness kayo. Next slide. So, of course, you do your cervical cancer screening. Next slide. Then, yung mga doktor, wala doon sa screening area, maaring nasa opisina or maaring somewhere, no? Remote reading, babasahin niya. Next slide. Again, sa counseling, we always emphasize yung HPV, no? Parati naman, kasi yun yung decision makers, eh. Sa eskwelahan kasi, di ba, marami pang consent. Dito, kausap mo na yung nanay. So might as well do it na to get to seek the consent. Besides, nag-lecture ka na on cervical cancer, natakot mo na yung nanay, eh. Di ba? So papirmahin nyo na. Parang ganun. Next slide. Kung hindi masyadong comfortable yung MHO, pwede namang i-refer yun sa hospital like I said. Click lang yung button, i-refer yung hospital na OB, na specialist, na ang magbabasa. No? Noon. And then lastly, gusto ko pong ibigay pong i-share sa inyo na yung grupo namin has already partnered with DZRH. No? DZRH, ang ibig kong sabihin nito is kada punta namin lokasyon sa inyo. Mapa, Balanga, Nimay, Roxama, or whatsoever, it's always going to be reported sa radio. Sa Manila. Yun lang. Next slide. Now, ano ba ang value proposition on what I'm trying to say? No? Ang sinasabi lang namin, I think, siguro naman between kung kaya naman yung HPV DNA, of course, let's do that. Kung hindi pa kaya, perhaps baka you might want to consider this alternative. No? Kaysa naman, what I'm gagawin? So I think it's a good alternative to deliver preventive awareness and screening to communities. Kasi kami, instead of trying to ask the patient to go to the RHU, ask the patient to go to the hospital, mismong tayo na ang pupunta sa taong bayan. Yan. Daily activity, araw-araw may balita, araw-araw kinikreate mo yung height ng cervical cancer, araw-araw pumapasok cervical cancer sa mga tao, mas natututukan, mas tumataas yung awareness nila. Good alternative solution for HPV vaccination, I think I've mentioned that already. Next slide. Did you know that meron din reimbursement? Ang VIA, wala pong reimbursement. Alam natin yun. No? What if ito? Pag ginamit mo yung colposcope sa unang pasyente, that is VIA assisted by a colposcope. Pero, kapag itong pasyente nito nag-positive at ini-refer sa hospital, hindi na yan VIA. Pwede mo nang i-declare yan as colposcopy. Lalo na kung ang magbabasa ay isang oncologist, gynec-oncologist. Diba? Kung tatanggapin niya yung machine. No? Yun, yung procedure na yun ay reimbursable. That's 8,000 pesos, 3,000 sa doktor, 5,000 sa hospital. That's the, So, sayang naman yun. Now, nangihinayang tayo sa cost ng 825,000 kasi 450 yung machine, 397,000 yung AI. Anyway, ang point ko lang is this. Makakuha ka ng 3 cervical cancer, ipadala mo sa Manila, bayaran mo lahat. Ang cost ng cervical cancer, because I am a radiation oncologist, ang alam ko, it's about 350,000. That's the cost of one treatment. Radiation, chemo, biopsy, lahat. Times 3, that's about abot na ng 1 million. Ang gagastusin nyo dito is only 825,000. Magagamit nyo na sa 10,000 patients sa isang taon or more, plus may reimbursable pa. Consider it lang. Right. Yan. Next slide. Lastly, you can also do screen and treat. Ibig sabihin, pagka nag-positive, pinabalik mo after 1 year or 6 months, nag-retesting ka ulit, no? Nakita mo talagang positive, pwede mo na siyang i-treat. You can charge PhilHealth colposcopy plus treatment, no? Thermal ablation. Separate yun. Now, thermal ablation, as I understand, ang reimbursement is about 5,000 pesos. So, sayang din naman yun. It becomes additional funds for the hospital, for the area. I think yun lang yung last slide ko. Next slide. So again, reimburse, I wanted to share lang kung gusto nyo makita yung machine in action, you just let me know. May number ako mamaya, I'll show it. Next slide. And then, sige, next slide. Yun. So yun, maraming salamat po. Thank you.
And thank you very much po, Dr. Box Rivera, for that presentation.